Hey, RetconRaider here. Before we get started, I'd just like to thank the Raiders, the fine folks who help make these videos possible. With special thanks to Revenant, Anerdinwarpaint, Antonio Hernandez, Matthew Holmquist, Nathan Welch Jr., and Valinrook. Thanks for your support, guys. That said, let's get started. And welcome back to Baldur's Gate 3. Now, first things first, I should note that update number 3 is out. In fact, it rolled out while I was doing the prep work for this episode, so once I'm done here, I am going to go and confirm the update, and that will be invalidating our saves. So, for better or worse, this is the final episode of our Baldur's Gate Early Access series. For now. That said, we are still about a year out from the game's full launch, I believe. And honestly, even just in update number 3, I'm already seeing a lot of positive changes. Not just new content, but also rebalances and tweaks in response to general criticism from the viewers and playtesters, including a few of the things that I've actually criticized over the past few episodes. Now, I'm not going to go into the details here, but I will include a link to the patch notes in the comments below, for those of you who actually want to see all of the intricate details. But suffice to say, it is coming along. I'm looking forward to seeing where they go with it, and if interest levels spike at some point over the next few months, on my monthly polls, then I may just resume the misadventures of Iluthin and company. And failing that, we will almost certainly end up revisiting the game anyway once it is finished and fully released, though at that point I'll probably end up starting with a completely new character. Anyway, let's see what kind of trouble we can get ourselves into. Okay, so we've got pretty much this entire village waiting for us. We came in, punched right through that ambush at the gate, and then headed straight for the windmill. So we've got plenty of containers to loot and a whole bunch of buildings and side paths to investigate. I'm honestly not even sure where to start. So let's have a look out here. Oh, look at that. We've got like a whole barn. Oh, I see. That looks to be a secondary access point. That's where we found the dead postman. That's just a little off to the right of where we ended up coming up. Anyway. I suppose that would have put us closer to the side entrance to the windmill area. And near this bridge here. That's intriguing. But let's not stray too far. We want to stay focused on this village. Really thought we'd be strong enough to move that thing. I could swear we've moved boulders like that before. Nothing back here. Let's have a look up here. That seems pretty distinctive. Huh, can't move that one either. Alright, well, we obviously have something going on at that bridge. But like I said, we don't want to stray too far, so let's go have a closer look at that barn.
As you approach, a guttural scream and a succession of quick bangs rattle the door. Then, a low moan. Someone, or something, is having a bit of fun.
Well, I certainly don't like the sound of that. We've already caught these guys torturing one random traveler. I think our best bet here is to just bust in and catch them off guard.
Leave it. Whoever's inside doesn't want an audience, and I don't want to fight.
Yeah, sorry, Shadow. I don't really plan my moves around what you do and don't want. That aside, we kind of are looking for a fight.
What the hell are you doing?
Wait. Wait. I may have misinterpreted this situation. We're gonna go.
Wind. Smash! Oh, smash you!
Oh, don't disturb a half-ogre in the making.
Well, I guess we're doing this. On the bright side, we did get into a fight. Adventure. Oh, boy. Oh, did that? She somehow disrupted my action. That sucks. Okay, I think we do want to tag the Ogress, but let's take this guy down first. Nice. Though, that was kind of lackluster for a critical hit. By my reckoning, that should have been 2d8 plus 5. Yeah, I probably deserve that. But, you know what? Light her up. Hey, it actually landed. Nice. Gotta say, this is not how I saw this session going. Ooh. Okay, we need to finish this. Okay, so that happened. And I see that Shadow has a comment she would like to make. Alright, let me have it.
Well, that was unnecessary. Were you jealous of them or something?
Things could have gone more smoothly, yes.
I'm sure those creatures would agree with you on that.
Well, you know what? As awkward as that might have been, they were still two monsters hanging out in a room full of human corpses, so I'm not going to feel too bad about this. Let's see if that at least got us anything decent. Wow, there are actually quite a few corpses in here. I'm going to try not to speculate on that. Oh, nice. Scale mail. That's a pretty swanky looking helmet, too. A is for Azoth and Other Gods, Volume 2. A collection of children's rhymes about the gods Azoth, Bane, and Besheba. Azoth, the god of wizards all, who spend their whole lives learning. He grants their spells both big and small, or Mistra, always yearning. Bane the tyrant, the Black Hand, makes sure the strong do rule. He spreads his darkness through the land, praised by the harsh and cruel. Besheba will bring forth your doom, unless you chant her prayer. Split from Teichmiller in the womb, she brings bad luck to spare. That does seem like valuable information to teach tiny children. Great sword. I mean, we don't really need it, but that is still a very valuable item. Figures we'd finally start finding some halfway decent loot right before our saves get wiped. This game. Okay, I am pretty sure that is an upgrade for Shadow. And I think that helmet might actually look pretty nice on Asterion. As for the rest of this stuff, I guess I should really stop picking everything up. It's kind of pointless now. It's just an ingrained habit, you know? I am an adventurer. Hey. The ears clip through, but, yeah, that is pretty solid. Nice find. I like the fact that they've included multiple models for most of the basic armor items. And in the new update, they've also added a toggle so you can still equip helmets without actually seeing them. I mean, I personally like it, but there are a lot of folks who don't. Okay, I think we are done here. Sorry again. Bye. Could have sworn we left this open. Alright, let's have a look at this place next. Regarding strange riders in these parts. The date on this letter has faded with time, but the paper alone indicates great age. My fellow citizens, for fellow citizens we are, like it or not. I print and post multiple copies of this notice in the region, at no small expense to myself, because I feel a growing concern and alarm at the presence of strange riders in these parts of late. Many of you will have seen them, tramping through our forests and towns under the guise of patrol. They claim they are guardians, sent from Elturel to protect the borders of the great and holy nation of Elturgard. Don't be fooled by shining armor or handsome mounts. I never bent the knee to any Elturgard, and I never asked any metal jester to come peering over my garden fence. As you all know, I'm descended direct from the original Selionite settlers along these banks, and I have a half-elven great-uncle who will swear to it. We're peaceable folk, and we get on with the druids well enough, but I pay no fealty or tax to any far-off city I can't even find on a map. I took no small pleasure in telling these thugs just that, and I urge you to do the same. They call themselves Hell Riders. I call them interlopers, and they can bugger off to the hells, them and their city both. With grave concern and serious intent, Damon Briska, proud and free citizen of the Heartlands. Interesting. You know, Shadow did imply that this whole village, the Blighted Village, had already been abandoned before the goblins came in and took over. It is entirely possible that we may have just found the crux of what happened to the original settlers. It's also worth noting that, unless I am misremembering, the Tiefling refugees are actually from Elturgard, and I believe at least a few of them are actually former Hell Riders. Their leader, at the very least. That adds an extra wrinkle to this whole complex web of subplots. Though, to be fair, we have no idea how long ago this village actually fell. For all we know, it could have been decades ago. As always, I will express my continuous amazement and appreciation of just how complex a narrative they have created here. It's doubly impressive that even when things don't seem to make sense, they eventually do seem to fall into place. I don't know if we've really run into any documents that haven't had some bearing on some aspect of the story. Where did that journal go? Oh, there we go. The Private Thoughts of an Ambitious Apprentice. The pupil surpasses the teacher. My master weapons are almost complete. There's just one component left. Samson says the designs are a failure, but what's he know? He can barely see past his own belly. I stashed the prototypes and blueprints for now, but just you wait, Samson. Your legend is fading, and a new one will rise in its place. Yeah, how'd that work out? Well, I am going to assume that means it did not work out. But his loss could very well be our gain. We'll have to keep an eye out for those blueprints. Oh, and you know what? That also reminds me. Apparently, we can just rebuild that spear we retrieved from the Owlbear's cave. We apparently have both parts of it. I just never thought to look for a manual combination command. I assumed we needed a specialized workstation. Apparently, you can just do it by hand. And there we go. Vision of the Absolute. A rare two-handed spear. The tip of this spear, covered with horrifying barbs, strikes unerringly towards its target's eyes. The holder of this item gains Rush and Absolute Night. Chance to blind targets, deals an additional 2d6 piercing damage to certain creatures that sport multiple sets of eyes. Now, I will say, while this is certainly an intriguing item, giving up both hand slots for a meager 1d8 damage is not that great. Blinding is potentially nice, but there's no percentage chance listed there. And while the bonus damage is certainly appealing, I am fairly certain that only applies to beholders? Oh, or maybe spiders too. I guess spiders would qualify. That actually does make it somewhat more appealing. Not sure I'd want to give up our greatsword, though. We've got a giant gaping hole right in the middle of the floor. We'll want to watch our step. Anvil. We've got a key over under this box. I'm guessing that's how we get into the cellar without just jumping down. Oh, and we've got another key outside. That's weird. That skeleton is definitely new. I would have stopped to look at that if it had been there when we went up on the rooftop. Not much on it. That might be the wizard, Highcliff, the apprentice, whose journal we just found. Yeah, I bet his body and the heavy key don't actually appear until after you read that journal. Also, that would seem to confirm that things did not go well for him. Okay, so we definitely have a lower floor. I don't want to just jump down there, so let's poke around until we find a proper entrance. Aha. There we go. That is what we were looking for. Not exactly hidden, but the last place we looked. Whoops. Yep, I really need to stop picking everything up. It just feels... It feels so unnatural. Not taking everything that isn't nailed down. Alright, I will try to be a lot more frugal going forward. Oh, but we are definitely taking that stuff. Scrolls are valuable and basically weightless. Huh. A pleasurable deal. The shocking truth. Printed on cheap paper that nearly crumbles at the touch, this article promises the real story behind the works of Kingsley Harp. Below is a transcript of an interview with the writer and director of A Pleasurable Deal, Mr. Kingsley Harp. What was the inspiration behind this, if I may be so bold, entirely lewd piece of drama? It's about exploring the taboo, seeing who we as people really are. Yes, Robert makes a deal with a Cambion, but who wouldn't? Well, I like to think most people wouldn't. Then you don't know most people. Everyone wants something. Everyone needs something. Cambions can see it. In a way, they know us better than we know ourselves. But at the end of the play, Robert dies horribly. What does that say about what we, as you put it, need? You forget. Robert dies because he broke away from Carlisle. He didn't stay true to the deal they made. So, you're encouraging people to make a pact with Hell's offspring? To give up, as Robert did, his soul? We only have one life. Why not make the most of it? So, what was your deal? I beg your pardon? In fact, this was your directorial debut, wasn't it? You couldn't even get published in the tabloid Baldur's Bash before this play came out. Did you honestly trade your soul for an erotic play? Alright, we're done here. You know, aside from being, silly and fun to read, that was genuinely fascinating. It is actually relevant to our particular situation, given that we were, of course, approached by a Cambion at our campsite not too long ago. Once again, despite easily being a standalone piece of fiction, it is something that ultimately ties into the greater picture of Baldur's Gate 3. Well, what did that do? Oh, I bet that just unbarred the door. If we had jumped through the roof, we would have still needed to unlock the door. Wow, this place is actually really big. This is weird, right? We're like 30 feet deep now. Workbench. Nice. I'm guessing that's where we need to assemble those master weapons. Now, I am fairly certain we can get up here. Oh, yeah, look at that. And that's probably our blueprints. Let's finish up with the normal basement first. Then we'll worry about the adjoining caverns. Given how huge this place is, I would not be surprised if it ends up connecting to other adjoining buildings. The Approachable East, Volume 6. I must say, for a place with so many orcs and goblins, Thesk is a remarkably pleasant land. A true melting pot, where all are accepted, and quite a lot seems to be permitted. Alas, the crew I sailed here with were imprisoned by the harbor master, but I was soon on the road known as the Golden Way, and it lives up to its name. The wealth of a continent marches along this road. Furs from Neverwinter and iron from Nashkel flow in one direction, while silks and jewels flow the other. I have heard so many stories of the world. The Golden Way passes through Rashomon, through the wastes of the Hordelands, and on to the continent of Kara-Tur, a land of empires, dragons, and beasts I've never dreamt of. I am so close to Rashomon, but what was once my dream now sounds so mundane. Last night I made camp and I was joined by a charming fellow. I told him my dream of seeing Rashomon, and he laughed. He claims that Rashomon is nothing compared to Thay, and invited me to visit the court of the Zalkirs. It seemed rude to turn down such an illustrious invitation, so I will see what this Thay has to offer. Then, Rashomon, and beyond. Thay, huh? Let me guess, this is the final volume of this series. Alas, poor Rian, we knew him well. Though, let's be honest, he probably had that coming. I think this village is actually the most profitable location we visited so far. Nothing magic just yet, but some pretty decent loot. Whoops. Okay, sorry. Yep, just got a bit into the groove of cracking open containers. No harm done. Though I did blow up our ladder access. Someone has carved Dita's property into the chest's lid. The keyhole is speckled with black powder. Yeah, if we'd actually looked at the description on this thing, it would have been pretty obvious. Let's go ahead and crack this thing open. Highcliff's blueprints. Intricate blueprints for 3 impressive-sounding weapons. Also, given the attitude on that apprentice, Dita Highcliff, and how much they are building up these master weapons, I'm assuming that we're going to be underwhelmed. Smoke powder barrel. Wow. Interesting. And another chest. This one marked with the name Samson. That was the apprentice's master. No options to disarm. Though, we definitely have disarm kits in our inventory, and we just picked some up. Hey. Steel forged sword. Uncommon longsword? No, 1d6 plus 1 piercing. That would be a short sword. Though the grip's leather is old and crusty, it shows no signs of wear, and not a single scratch mars the slender blade. +1 short sword. I think that is actually the first +1 weapon we have found. It's funny, in almost any earlier edition of D&D, a +1 weapon would be a fairly underwhelming find, especially as you start getting into the higher levels. But in D&D 5th edition, and by extension Baldur's Gate 3 I suppose, it's actually a really nice item. From what I've gathered, gaining bonuses to accuracy are fairly rare. Ow. Oh my. That is hundreds of gold pieces worth of swords. We've also got what looks to be a blocked path here.
That might be worth a look.
Yep, that's what I thought. We could probably squeeze through there if we were a smaller race, but as it stands, I think we're going to have to blast that down. That might be what the smoke powder barrel is for. We found the blueprints, but there's no actual instructions here about what we need to do with them. Can we read these? There we go. Precise arcs and neatly drawn lines form the blueprints of 3 weapons: a greatsword, a sickle, and a dagger. Each length and angle is marked with exact measurements, and forging instructions are printed carefully along the bottom of the page, emphasizing an unusual ingredient: sussur bark. Intriguing. If I had to guess, and of course I do, we are going to find exactly 1 piece of sussur bark around here somewhere, That might be what's on that glowing pedestal down lower. And then we'll combine it with one of these other random weapons that's lying around to create the master weapon that Dita Highcliffe was so proud of. Oh, whoops. I must have switched off to the imp somehow. And I guess that happened when Layla rampaged across my keyboard. I probably cut that part out, so you're going to find it really confusing. Alright, so we could obviously stack these dozens of containers to create a stairway up there, but it would take a lot of micromanaging to jump back down on the other side. So instead, I think what we're going to do is see if we can blast down that wall. Nice. Wasn't sure the Eldritch Blast would do it. Huh. That's unusual. I'm starting to think that forging this master weapon might actually be a somewhat complex process.
Webs everywhere.
Webs everywhere.
Spiders anywhere.
Feels like home.
I sure do like failing all those perception checks. That's not unsettling. Alright, let's not go down just yet. We will instead see if we can bypass this web bridge. Ow. That's cool. Everyone else just walked across.
Sounds like something's less than pleased.
Oh, good. Armor up. And not a moment too soon. Oh, my goodness. I think those are Ettercaps. Shadow is not in the fight yet. There we go. We've got a lot of darkness issues here. We're going to have our main party stay put near the torch. Not too shabby. We are off to a good start. Web attack. That's fine. Imp's actually tearing that thing up. They must have a pretty low armor class. That is not what I wanted Asterion to do, but it's already past his savings throw, so we'll just have him sprint the rest of the way through. I can't help but notice that we have an electric blue spider on our timeline. Oh my. That is a phase spider. I am starting to think we might have overstepped our abilities here. Okay, that's one Eder cap down. The other one is nowhere to be seen. And the phase spider is hanging back and sniping at us, so... yeah, let's stay put and force it to come to us. I wish we had, like, an Overwatch command or something. There we go. There's the other one. Hold.
Dum vita est, spes est.
Oh, dancing lights. I totally forgot I could even do that. We lost Shield of Faith, but I'm going to say that was worth it. Aha! You fool! You foolish fool! Now begins the stabbing. Crap. Really should have just jumped. Nice. Never thought I'd say it, but Shadow is absolutely MVP today. Base spiders down. Hi there. Cool. Poisoned. That's fun. Oh, shoot. What's going on there? Unexpected. That is, problematic. Okay. Sure. How long is that going to keep going? 12 more seconds. I am honestly not sure what I'm supposed to do about this. Blech.
Should get some rest. I need to keep sharp.
All right, people. On your feet. Plenty of time to die later. All right, folks. That well and truly wiped us out. As much as I would like to push on, we are in no shape for it, so let's go ahead and tap that long rest button, and I think it's about time to wrap things up. Yeah, we're almost at the hour mark anyway. We definitely need to wrap this up. Look at that. I believe we have upgraded our camp again. I don't remember these tents being here. Or those wooden walkways. Interesting.
I was watching you at the Grove Gate. You spilled enough goblin blood to fill the Chiontha. Where'd you learn moves like that?
Githyanki train for battle from the moment they hatch.
I'd hardly doubt it. You were swift as sun and bright as wind. Or did I get that backward? You've got talent. If the blade must share his glory, better it be with a champ like you.
I am not sharing in your glory. You are sharing in mine.
A matter for the bards and poets to settle. And I've not heard your name fall from their lips. Now, let's get some rest. I do my best goblin killing at sunup.
I like Will. I'm not so sure about Gale. But I think if and when we end up doing a full run of this game, I would like to give those two a bit more screen time. As much fun as it is to have Asterion blundering about and Shadow criticizing every single thing we do. At any rate, yeah, I'm afraid this is where we're going to have to call it. This is the point where Iluthin's misadventures come to an end, at least temporarily. Like I said, I may return to the game. We've got almost a year before the game is scheduled for full launch, and I am very much looking forward to seeing where they take the game as it continues into development. I will, of course, continue including it in the monthly interest polls, as well as the public quarterly polls, which I run on Patreon. And if the interest levels get high enough, and if I think the game's far enough along, I'll be more than happy to continue Iluthin's adventures. I'll just rebuild our progress off-screen, and then jump into whatever the latest patch is. Though I will say right now, I would prefer to wait until they've expanded the class options and raised the level cap, because we're right on the cusp of the current level cap. And I would really like to have access to proper blade lock perks for Iluthin. That said, we will go ahead and slide Iluthin and Baldur's Gate 3 onto the back burner, spend some time checking out a few of the other games in my queue, and we will return to Larian's colorful take on the Forgotten Realms once y'all are ready for it. and once development is a bit further along. See you then. Oh, and remember, although I do love playing Baldur's Gate 3, you can find out more about the game by visiting the official website, the official YouTube and Twitch channels, the official social media feeds, or the official store pages. As always, links are in the description.
I'm sure those creatures would agree with you on that.